Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. If everyone would have a seat, please. Good evening. Welcome to the Montgomery Township Board of Supervisors meeting for February 26, 2026. My name is Tanya Bamford. I am the chair of the Board of Supervisors. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. It's wonderful to see so many of you with us this evening, especially when we had to postpone our meeting from Monday due to the weather. We're going to go ahead and start with agenda item number 3, which is public comment. Persons wishing to make public comment during this meeting on any items not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Please come forward to the microphone, state whether you are a township resident or a business owner.
We on? Can you hear me? How you doing? Good evening. My name is Lee Morano. I'm a member of the fire department in Montgomery Township. Currently, I'm captain of the fire police unit, and I also serve as treasurer for the fire department. I would like to comment on the rehiring of Fire Chief Bill Wigman. I joined the fire department 9 years ago, and at that time, there was a definite conflict between the paid firefighters and the volunteers. It wasn't a great work environment. It almost seemed like there were two different departments. When Bill became fire chief, one of his main goals was to eliminate this conflict and make it one unified department. I believe that during his tenure, he did achieve this goal. Today, there is a unified department, and the paid guys and the volunteers work together to make Montgomery Township a safer place for all its inhabitants. I think when Bill left, it was like cutting the head off a snake, and the snake will eventually die. In my opinion, this is what is going to happen to the fire department. I believe Bill has been under a lot of stress in the last year, and he made a decision that he admittedly regrets. I'm sure every one of you has made a decision in your life that you wish you could go back and change. This is not one of those decisions. This is one that can be rectified. Rehire Bill Wegman as fire chief of the fire department of Montgomery Township. He is the most qualified candidate and has proven that he can do the job and win the respect of the entire department. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lee.
Good evening, guys.
It does come up. Yeah.
There you go.
Good evening, guys. Chairwoman Bamford, Supervisor Pelletier, and Supervisor Chimera. I wrote this letter to you guys a few weeks ago, but I wanted to come read it into the public record. I felt strongly enough to be here, so I hope you guys will consider it. I write this letter to you not only as a public servant of Montgomery Township, but also as someone who deeply cares about this community and its fire department. Since you assumed leadership of the board, that's all of you. You have been a consistent source of support for our department, and that support has never gone unnoticed by any of us. You have served as sounding boards, provided financial backing, and demonstrated a steady commitment to our mission of protecting the lives and property of Montgomery Township residents. That commitment has mattered, especially during periods of challenging growth. Over the past several months, there has been significant community debate surrounding the growth and direction of our fire department. As a department, those debates have been difficult at times and at other times divisive. While I know everyone involved cares deeply about both the community and the organization, those conversations unfortunately created real fractures within our ranks. In that environment, a small number of voices began to unfairly tarnish the reputations of dedicated members of our department, most notably Chief Bill Wegman. What many outside the organization do not fully understand is that fire departments are complex microcosms of the communities they serve. Formed let me step back. Operating under unique pressures, stress, and scrutiny that are often invisible to the public. The bonds formed, the challenges faced, and the ways we support one another are shaped by the intensity and responsibility of the work we do together. Like any organization, our department is not without flaws. What makes it special is how we confront those challenges and grow from them. New and renewed friendships, shared experiences, professional development, and organizational growth have defined our department in the last number of years that Chief has been the chief. Like any organization, at the center of that progress was our fire chief, Bill Wegman. I believe I can confidently say that all of you have supported him throughout his tenure. Many of you developed personal friendships with Bill, and that some might traditionally view as unconventional. But those relationships were rooted in trust, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to this township. Bill was not simply a director of fire services brought in from a previous career elsewhere. He was Montgomery Township. And I want to echo that. He was Montgomery Township. And the reason he reapplied is because he is Montgomery Township, and he embodies everything that Montgomery Township stands for. He understood this community, its people, and its needs. He brought a clear vision that transformed our department, moving us from two separate entities into one unified organization that truly lived our motto: one department, one mission. I urge you to reflect on the decision you made years ago to take a chance on a former juvenile probation officer and volunteer fire chief. It was the right decision for our department at the time, and its impact has been felt in measurable ways. I remember how proud I was to be a member of this department the night Bill was sworn in, surrounded by smiles, optimism, and a sense of shared purpose. Those moments were not isolated. They were followed by years of progress, success, and positive memories that still define who we are today. Many of you have seen my farewell message to Chief Wegman when he left. Writing that was difficult. Writing this letter, however, has been easier because it comes from a place of reflection and hope. Hope that you will consider bringing Chief Bill Wegman back. For the continued stability, unity, and growth of our department, I ask you to look back on the years of momentum we experienced, the countless hours, holidays, and sacrifices Bill gave, and what we can accomplish together moving forward. If it isn't evidenced by what you see here in the crowd, the letters you've received over the past couple of weeks, I don't know what better example that shows that Bill Wegman embodied Montgomery Township. I respectfully urge you to consider bringing Chief Wegman back to continue building a strong, unified, and forward-looking combination department, one that can be the best in Montgomery County, if not the Commonwealth. Thank you for your time, consideration, and continued support of our fire department and this community.
Thank you, Jake.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Angel Mejias, my wife, Lorena Mejias, 100 Gwynmont Drive. We drafted this letter together. We emailed it to the Board of Supervisors on Monday, but we also wanted to stand here and read it in person for the record. So members of Montgomery Township Board of Supervisors, we write to you as residents of Montgomery Township. We're also volunteer members of the Fire Department of Montgomery Township. I, Angel, serving as Lieutenant of Fire Police and President of the FDMT Relief Association. My wife, Lorena, serving as Fire Police Officer and Financial Secretary of the FDMT Executive Board. We write not casually, but with urgency and conviction regarding the events that led to the December 15th vote accepting the resignation of Fire Chief Bill Wegman. In the months leading up to that meeting, the shift was unmistakable. What should have been professional administration developed into visible tension and targeted opposition. Public resistance to the fire service initiatives was expressed before full discussion, creating the clear impression that certain outcomes were predetermined. This was no longer about strategy differences, it became personal. A small number of disgruntled members submitted letters criticizing the chief. Those grievances rooted largely in resistance to accountability were given outsized weight. Meanwhile, the overwhelming majority of the Department of Fire Services career staff and FDMT volunteers stood here before you publicly by name to affirm their confidence in Chief Wigman's leadership. They didn't hide behind letters. They showed up. That distinction matters. Accountability in the fire service is not optional. Standards, guidelines, policies, they all exist because lives depend on them. When leadership enforces those standards, not everyone is pleased. But discontent from a few does not negate progress for the many. Yet minor internal conflicts were magnified and used as justification by members of this board to undermine a chief who was doing exactly what he was hired to do, which was to strengthen and unify the department. Your mission statement commits you to vision, respect, transparency, and acting in the best interest of Montgomery Township residents. It's what you were elected for. The handling of this situation fell short of that commitment. Chief Wigman has been one of the most impactful leaders this department has seen. He does not just work here, he lives here. He has invested himself fully in building a cohesive professional fire service that serves this township with pride. He has openly expressed regret over his resignation and a strong desire to return. That is not weakness, that is loyalty to this community. He has formally applied for the fire chief position. More than 300 residents and supporters signed a petition calling for his reinstatement. And to dismiss that support with the sentiment that we don't need him ignores the voices of those who serve and those who are served. This isn't about pride and it shouldn't be about politics. It's about whether this board is willing to correct course in the interest of what is best for the community. Montgomery Township deserves stable, proven leadership in its fire and emergency services. The department deserves a chief who has already demonstrated commitment, competence, integrity. Replacing him risks undoing all that progress and deepening the division. So we call upon you firmly and without hesitation to set personal differences, biases, and politics aside. Reopen this matter, reevaluate the circumstances with integrity. Reinstate or rehire Bill Wegman as fire chief of the fire department of Montgomery Township and the Montgomery Township Department of Fire Services. We believe this is a defining moment for this board, so we ask that you lead with principle, you honor your mission. Do what is right for the firefighters, do what is right for the department and for the residents of Montgomery Township. Rehire Fire Chief Bill Wegman. Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Chris O'Neill, and I'm a 25-year resident of Montgomery Township. I'm here tonight to support Chief Wegman and ask you to please reinstate him as the fire chief of Montgomery Township. My family has known Chief Wegman for many years. We have the utmost respect for him as a person. He exhibits all the qualities we need in a fire chief for the township. As chief for our town for many years, Bill has done a tremendous job. He's admired and respected in the community, and he has performed his job with passion and integrity. We don't need to go outside of the township to hire a chief. We have an incredible one right here, and that has served our township with excellence for many years. We know many of the career and volunteer firefighters over the years because our son, Jack, who has special needs, is an avid and aspiring firefighter. We see the folks from the fire department at all the community events. And that's how we got to know Bill. We can see all the respect that the career and the volunteer firefighters have for Bill. They admire him as well. He's the right leader for the job. And I just wanted to share one personal story from our family. Back in 2012, when our son Jack was about to go in for a life-changing brain surgery because he has chronic epilepsy, Bill came to our house. I didn't know Bill then until that night. He showed up and he gave us his very own St. Florian medal. St. Florian is the patron saint of firefighters. He came to our home to wish us well, pray with us, and wish Jack a successful surgery. He didn't have to do that, but he did it because he's a kind man. And he's the right man to lead this township into the future. So we implore you to reinstate him. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi, I'm Joan Anton. I do know most of you. I moved here in 2000. I am a charter member and a life member of this department. I'm now also the Secretary of Relief, and I have seen a lot of chiefs come and go in this department. And my personal observation is Bill has done more for our department than all the rest of them put together. He has the respect of the career staff. He has the respect of all the volunteers. And he loves this township and he does the best for it. And he does the best for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Jay Washewski, Pinecrest. Hadn't planned to stand up tonight. I didn't know this was happening. So just real quick, I met Bill in October, worked with him a little bit, trying to help with the proposal and stuff. Next month, I'm retiring from a company. I've been there 20 years total, of which I missed 2.5 years in the middle because I left and came back. So based on my experience and meeting Bill for a little bit, I'm not going to tell you to rehire him, but I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, give him serious consideration. He has the kind of character that I would admire. And I did say, I think in public before, I think the solution is better with him than without him. So thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Adam Swizlewski, 139 Polo Drive. I currently serve as the president for the fire department as well as one of the assistant chiefs for the department. Jake said this as well. However, Bill embodied the one department, one mission. He lived it. I kind of felt like I walked a thin line and I wanted to try to remain neutral. So I ended up sending out this email to our staff today. Some of our members are attending the Board of Supervisors meeting tonight to voice their support for Bill's return to the position of chief of the fire department. Regardless of your opinion, Bill embodied the concept of one department, one mission, and fostered a strong relationship between the volunteer and career staff. He has created the high standard of training to ensure that we are all functioning at the highest operational levels. He has facilitated the purchase of new apparatus and rebranding of this apparatus to foster our own identity. He has worked to ensure that we've had the best equipment to place on the apparatus, primarily through grant funding. This had minimal impact on the department as well as the township and the taxpayers in our community. This equipment has always been kept in pristine operating condition. He has worked tirelessly with key stakeholders to obtain tax rebates in both Montgomery County and the North Penn School District for our volunteers. The SAFER grant is a result of Bill's efforts to support our Pay for Call program and Pay for Pro Board certifications, as well as provide funding for our recruitment efforts. His mindset has always been, what can we do next for the volunteers, as well as for the department and for the township. And quite honestly, working underneath Bill, he's been quite hard to keep up with. So I support Bill coming back. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Any other public comment?
Hello, my name is Adam Morrow, 100 Willowwood Court. I'm a township resident, business owner, and a volunteer firefighter. I may not agree with everything that Bill has done in the past, personal opinion, politics, whatever you want to call it. But for this department, Bill has created something I've never seen before here in the township as a lifelong resident. He's brought the career and volunteers together. He thinks forward towards the future. I think for the township, for the board, as we go through trying to correct mistakes of past boards, you need a player with you who's going to help you put the township in the best position forward. And I firmly believe that's Bill Wegman. I think Bill is going to help you guys get the township back on track, figure out the fire service stuff, and keep everyone together. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Any other public comment? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Thank you very much for your feedback. Moving on to agenda item 4, the consent agenda. We have the minutes of the February 9th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meetings, the payment of bills for the February 23rd, 2026, well, February 26th, 2026 meeting, and an escrow release number 9 for the Higher Rocks Residential. Carolyn, before I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, there were a couple of items on the bills that kind of leapt out at me, including $18,000 for snow plowing and $405,000 for the Elgin Whirlwind MV. If you could share some insight into those two.
Yes, the Elgin Whirlwind was approved, I believe, back in 23 or
Street
4.
cleaner?
That's the street
Okay,
sweeper.
that's what I thought.
Yes.
That's what I
yeah.
thought. So now we're finally paying that bill.
Yes, we finally received the truck just the other week. It finally came in, so that's why you're seeing the bill for that.
Okay, and then there was $18,000 for snow plowing. Was that for the rec center?
Do you know the vendor, the name of the
It was
vendor?
like Hoy's Landscaping. I
Yeah, that would be for the rec
Rec
center.
Center, yes.
Okay. Is there any way that we could handle that in-house?
We had talked about that previously. A lot of the issue that we have with trying to handle that in-house is once we get done with our roads, sometimes the rec center is open before we either get finished, or once we get done with all of the roads, the guys need a break. And by the time we would get that open, it would prolong opening for the residents. So that's always been one of the concerns. Is just the time that it would take us to get that opened up as well, between doing here and the 2 firehouses, which the fire department has been helping us out this year with the 2 firehouses with the truck they have with the plow. It comes down to a timing issue, and it also comes down to the guys are really, they kind of need a break.
Well, I applaud our public works crew, and you guys have just been doing such a wonderful job, and you've been really tested, this season with the amount of snow that we have had. So I'm kudos to you, and it's not a criticism. It just seems like, this is, I think I pointed this out last year too, around the same time. It wasn't, but it was only like 9,000 or 10,000 then, and this time it's 18,000. It seems as if we're equipped in-house to be able to do that. I'm just wondering if, we could maybe take another look at potentially, what would we need to do differently, or is there an additional part-time person that we would need to?
I would say as long as the board supports us keeping the rec center closed until we can get everything cleared there, then it would be fine. But in the past, the pressure has been on to get the rec center opened again. So if they finish at 3 a.m, they need to rest. Then we have 20 miles of sidewalks that we're responsible for that we have to get cleared within 24 hours to meet our own ordinance. So if the board agrees that the rec center might have to be closed for a day or two until we can get over there and get it sufficiently done, then we can do it in-house.
Well, I would think that there's another alternative that we could explore in terms of, staffing up to meet the needs of our facilities.
I didn't mean to cut you off. It also does come down to equipment. Sometimes if we have equipment failures, we may have just enough to get done what we need to do. We've had some issues where we have trucks down, and that prolongs our process out on the main roads. It has been a very challenging year, and I would say the $18,000 for this year, it's been a tough year.
You feel like it's money well spent.
We've had a lot of storms.
Yeah.
We really have. So we always salt the main parking lot. We always do it before and we always do it after. So it's just mainly, and there's a lot of sidewalk over there as well. So I'm sure that contributes to the price as well. Just the sidewalk and the amount of handwork that they have to do.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information. With that, was there any other questions about the consent agenda? Okay, I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item 5, authorization to bid Canterbury Lane storm sewer pipe replacement. Greg Wright, Public Works Director.
Thank you. The original corrugated metal storm sewer pipe along Canterbury Lane is completely disintegrated, which is causing dangerous sinkholes to form. Upon inspection, the most severe area required immediate repair in 2025. Gilmore and Associates, the township engineers, provided the township with a project proposal to complete phase 2 of the phase 3 replacement project. Phase 3 of the replacement project will be proposed in 2027. Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer, will solicit competitive bids utilizing Penn Bid's website. A total of $455,200 is included in the 2026 capital investment plan for the second phase of the Canterbury Lane storm sewer replacement. It is recommended that the Board of Supervisors approves the authorization for the advertisement of the bid.
What stretch of Canterbury is that?
This would be other areas throughout the development. It's not just along Canterbury Lane.
Oh.
It also connects to what we did last year. So where we came in, I'm going to say in between Devonshire and Gray's Lane, we did that section in there. There was a small section where we had a couple sinkholes that were forming in the roadway. So this will be a continuation of that. They're going to take it farther into the development.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All right, hearing none, I'll move to authorize the advertisement of phase 2 of the Canterbury Lane storm sewer pipe replacement utilizing Penn Bid.
Second.
Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to agenda item 7, authorize the purchase of a 6. Wait, sorry, I grabbed 2. That's the. Aha. Thank you. Agenda item 6, authorization to bid enclave stormwater basin improvements. Greg.
Per the recommendation of Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer, stormwater improvements are necessary to make the stormwater basin compliant on Enclave Boulevard. Once the stormwater basin has been made compliant, it will be turned over to the Montgomery Walk HOA and would then be privately owned and maintained. Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer, will solicit competitive bids utilizing Penn Bid website. A total of $319,000 is included in the 2026 capital investment plan for the stormwater improvements to make the basin compliant on Enclave Boulevard. It's recommended that the Board of Supervisors approves the authorization for the advertisement of the bid.
Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll move to authorize the advertisement of the bid to make the necessary stormwater improvements to the Enclave Boulevard Basin utilizing Penn Bid.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item 7. Greg, you're up again. Consider authorization to purchase and upfit the Ford F-550 flatbed truck.
This is it for tonight, I promise. Included in the 2026 capital investment plan is the purchase and upfit of one Ford F-550 flatbed truck to replace truck 12. The Ford 550 flatbed truck will replace the following vehicle: 2026 Ford F-550 flatbed with, it has more miles on it now, but so just short of 40,000 or 42,000 miles. Attached is the official price quote from Fred Beans Ford of Doylestown, an authorized vendor under the CoStarz Cooperative Purchase Program, to provide us the requested vehicle for a total cost of $80,194. Also attached are the official price quotes from J&J Truck Bodies and Trailers, an authorized vendor under the CoStarz Purchase Program, to provide and install the requested dump body and salt spreader for a total cost of $83,581.05. The Jana Truck and Utility Equipment, an authorized vendor under the CoStarz Purchasing Program, to provide and install the requested snow plow for an additional cost of $8,167. And Marriott's Emergency Equipment, an authorized vendor under CoStarz, to provide and install the requested lighting and radio equipment for a total cost of $2,520. The total cost to replace this Ford F-550 flatbed, including equipment and installation, is $174,462.05. The equipment meets the specifications prepared by the Public Works Department. A total of $165,000 was included in the 2026 capital investment plan for the purchase and upfit of the truck. The $9,462.05 over the budgeted amount as a result of adding additional safety lighting to the truck, as well as price increases for 2026.
Well, that's a lot. And we've got 4 motions here. Do you want, we're going to do all of these separately, or we're just, all in one?
I would, yeah, I would do them separately. I mean, you can do them all in one, but I think you're authorizing 4 different types of monies.
Okay, I'll just read them separately. Okay. First one.
Can I ask Greg a question?
Oh, yes.
I know township residents will look at this and say, oh, we're replacing a truck with under 40,000 miles. Can you explain that 40,000 miles on a
Correct.
like this is different than on your Camry?
Correct. One of the things that's always a big difference is the type of miles that the truck has on it. This truck, particularly throughout the entire summer, has a mowing trailer that they're pulling with it. And also, I'm going to say with the snow plowing efforts, it really takes a toll on the truck. So even though the miles seem low, they're hard miles on that truck.
It's pretty standard to replace them at this level of service.
I think each municipality is a little bit different. As far as what we're trying to do with keeping our trucks as a newer fleet, I think in the long run, it's really saving money. You're going to get more when you go to resell it, but you are also going to hopefully have less repair costs going forward as you do with some of the older trucks.
Okay.
We've tried that in the past and it's kind of come back and bit us a little bit.
Thank you.
Is it a typo that it's a 2026?
Yeah, I believe it
You
is.
said you're replacing a 2026.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not a 2026. I can get you that information then.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and make these motions if there are no other questions. We'll start with the first one. I'll move to award the contract for the purchase of it says 1 Ford F-550. I think it should just be 1. Ford F-550 flatbed truck to Fred Bean Ford of Doylestown, an authorized vendor under the CoStarz Cooperative Purchase Program, at a total cost of $80,194 per their quote dated February 3rd, 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
Any public comment? Yes. Okay, Jay.
Grandfather and dad owned a garage and I worked in there for 7 years and my brother's a Ford mechanic. So just real quick, what year, I didn't hear what year the vehicle you're replacing is. It's not a 2026.
It's not a 2026. That was a typo. I apologize for that.
Did you say it was the 2012? 2020?
Let me,
Okay.
give me
Okay.
1 second here. I believe it's a 2016. Sorry about that. Let me get you let me get you. Yeah.
5 years.
No, it's 10 years.
Anything particular wearing out in it, like the transmission or, because you said hard.
It is like with the plowing and like I said, with the trailering on that,
Okay. But,
generally the transmissions will start to get a little tired on those.
but right now it doesn't have any specific thing that, I mean, it is 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then quick while I'm up here, you're replacing all the other equipment on the back. It's beat up and it's
Correct.
Sit on the back of it anyway.
Correct. Yeah. You do want to start with new, with the plow, with the salt spreader. Correct. Correct.
All right. While I'm up here, did you say what the value of the old one's going to be worth?
That'll go to municipal bid.
Just anybody ballpark it? What it's going to bring back?
We will when we list it on municipal bid. We try to ballpark it to see what other trucks are bringing in that. Yeah.
You don't know yet.
No, I don't want to throw a figure out there and have it completely. Okay. Yep.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We had public comment. Any further public comment? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Second motion, I'll move to award the contract for the purchase and installation of one dump body and salt spreader to J&J Truck Bodies and Trailers, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at a total cost of $83,581.05 per their quote dated January 13th, 2026.
Second.
Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Our third motion is I will move to award the contract for the purchase and installation of one snowplow to Dejana.
Dejana. Yep.
Dejana?
Dejana Truck
Okay.
Bodies.
A truck and utility equipment, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at a total cost of $8,167 per their quote dated January 6, 2026.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And our fourth motion, I'll move to award the contract for the purchase and installation of emergency lighting and radio equipment to Marriott's Emergency Equipment, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at a total cost of $2,520 per their quote dated February 17th, 2026.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Whew. Got through that one.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to public safety, agenda item 8. We've got the Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner Grant Awards. Carolyn McCreary, Township Manager.
Thank you. The Department of Fire Services and the Fire Department of Montgomery Township applied for the 2025-26 Pennsylvania Office of State Fire Commissioner grant in the fall of 2025. Both were notified that they were awarded a grant in the amount of $16,136.55. This grant money will help purchase 8 sets of the firefighting turnout gear and personal protective equipment at a cost of $40,000. The grants will obviously positively impact both budgets, with each receiving the amount of that I stated. The total amounts of both grants is $32,273.10, while the total expenditures being $20,000 for each organization respectively. The difference of $7,726.90 will come from both of those operating budgets. Staff is recommending that the board approve the PA Office of State Fire Commissioner grant awards and approve the purchase of the firefighter turnout gear and their personal protective equipment.
Nice grants. Absolutely. Any other comments or questions? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the PA Office of the State Fire Commissioner grant awards for $32,273.10 for the DFS and FDMT, and approve the purchase of the 8 sets of turnout gear and personal protective equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9, the adoption of our traffic calming policy. William Peoples, Chief of Police.
Thank you. At the January 26, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting, I advised that a new traffic calming policy was recommended as part of a PennDOT traffic study. The police department reviewed several similar policies from surrounding departments, as well as Chapter 18 of PennDOT Publication 13, Contextual Roadway Design. After reviewing these materials, a comprehensive traffic calming policy was developed using best practices identified in comparable policies. The proposed traffic calming policy was reviewed at the February 4th, 2026 Public Safety Committee meeting. Following a review, the policy was endorsed by the Public Safety Committee to be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors for revision and adoption. Proposed policy was included in the February 9th Board of Supervisors meeting packet and was reviewed and discussed with no additional comments other than clarification of where Grays Lane would be in the process, since the study was already completed. I recommend that the Board of Supervisors adopt the policy.
I'll make a motion to adopt the Montgomery Township traffic calming policy dated February 4th, 2026.
Second. Any public comment? Come on. After all the visits
came
to
out.
this, come on.
All right, George Shetty, 109 Cove Circle. I didn't have a chance to review the policy. What does it look like? Because I've been dealing with some other stuff right now.
Oh, I can give you a printout.
All right.
But we're gonna have to keep moving on with the agenda. But it's definitely going to help us with situations like Grays Lanes moving forward.
What's the timeline on anything with Grays Lane and that? Do we have any update from that, or?
Now that if it becomes adopted by the board, we're going to be able to go forward with it. We'd go to step 3. If you haven't reviewed yet, step 3 goes back to the original petitioner, getting support from the area. So after it's adopted, I'll have our highway safety start that process.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Any other public comment?
I didn't see the policy here. I looked today, but I couldn't find it. I'm just curious, what tools do we use? Like obviously we don't do speed bumps because our plows don't like them. We used to have one on Pine or Country Club Drive, and they got rid of it 30 years ago because the plows kept hitting it. So I was just curious what things we use for traffic calming. Do we add stop signs? What's the other one? Aggressive drivers, things like that. It's just, is it signs? Or what other things get involved?
So per PennDOT, we cannot use stop signs.
But
yes.
Per PennDOT, we can't use stop signs for traffic calming.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, stop signs can't be put in these areas. They don't qualify per PennDOT. Speed bumps, speed cushions, those are all actually PennDOT recommended. They are traffic calming. Yeah. Different things that you can use. Again, if you go into that publication I was speaking of through PennDOT, they'll list every single traffic calming they have.
Okay. I was just curious what Montgomery Township is considering using.
We'll go to the Public Safety Committee after we get some feedback from the community.
I just one quick question. Why didn't we just put stop signs on Grays Lane? Or we couldn't do that either.
Again, you can't do it. It doesn't qualify for it with the traffic and everything. It has to be approved. If it's not an approved stop sign, we can't enforce it. And if people know we can't enforce it, they're not going to stop. And that just makes it even more of a
I was
danger.
just curious why that didn't happen on Grays Lane instead of
fallback. But
Doesn't make the words.
Okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The traffic calming policy has been adopted. All right, moving on to Parks and Recreation. And item number 10, authorization for an application to the Monco 2040 grant program. Carolyn McCreary, Township Manager.
Thank you. The Whistle Stop Park Improvement Project includes the removal and replacement of outdated play equipment with a new accessible, inclusive playground with sensory components located adjacent to the pavilion. The playground will include a poured-in-place safety surfacing, shade structures, and perimeter fencing. The existing playground area will be converted into a picnic grove. 6 pickleball courts will be added. The softball field will be updated with a new backstop and heavy-duty fencing and new play benches with bleachers. A loop trail with ADA access to the softball field and other park amenities will be added, and improvements will be made to the existing path to meet ADA requirements. The existing rain garden will be rehabilitated and existing stormwater issues will be addressed. When completed, this project will enable children and others of all abilities to play and recreate in a safe and inclusive place. And just like we did in Fellowship Park, we will be putting a fence around the playground area because one, just for children in general who run, but also we had a resident who came to us when we were planning Fellowship and remind us that children who were on the spectrum tend to run, and this would create a safer environment for them as well. So grant applications for the Monco 2040 grant program are due the close of business on Monday, and they require a board resolution in support of the application. So the project cost is estimated right now to be 1.9 million, and we've already received grants from DCNR and DCED. We've also applied for the local share program, which is money that comes in from gaming and horse racing. And this one is we're asking for 350,000 because the park is actually located in Hatfield Township. Long story there, and thus it's considered a multi-municipal grant with a letter of support coming from Hatfield Township as well. So tonight, I'm just asking the board to adopt the resolution 2026-04, authorizing the application to the grant program. And they did receive our initial form and they gave it their blessing. So we're moving forward. We just have to submit a budget, the narrative, and this resolution if the board approves it.
All right, well, let's get it done.
Can I ask one question? So
Certainly.
can you give me the short story on that this is located in Hatfield Township? Why are we paying for it?
Because it's our parcel. It's our
Okay,
parcel carved
okay,
out of.
thank
So
you.
there was an issue with a business. The business decided to be spiteful with Hatfield Township and gave us that park. The good news is it puts us at a higher ranking for grants. We also emphasize that it can serve New Britain Township. I throw all and the fact that there is a moderate housing along Walnut Street there with where the railroad is. So we throw everything in there, and we're hoping that this will work with the county as well. I think we're in a better situation with the county because they're very familiar, obviously, with the park, whereas when you apply for the state, you have to really go through the whole explanation of how this came to be.
I've coached many practices at Whistle Stops.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
it's well used by.
Yes,
Yeah,
Montgomery
it
Township
absolutely is. And the
residents.
baseball field we found wasn't used. The softball field is.
Yes.
So the softball field will be rehabbed, and then the pickleball courts, obviously, you haven't been in meetings, but there are never enough outdoor pickleball courts. So we're going to try to get as many grants as we can to offset the cost of this.
Thank you.
I'll move to adopt resolution number 2026-04, authorizing an application to the Monco 2040 grant program for the Whistle Stop Park Improvement Project.
Second.
Any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item 11, discussion regarding proposed 2026 events. Carolyn McCreary, Township Manager.
Thank you. I recently met with township staff to discuss our planned events for this year. Specifically, we were discussing incorporating an America 250 celebration into our event that we've typically held on Friday of Memorial Day weekend. I say typically, last year it was rained out. We moved it, we incorporated it into National Night Out with our fireworks. We would change the name this year to reflect the modified theme. Our other confirmed events also include National Night Out in August and then Autumn Fest in October. All have been tremendously successful for the township. Last year, it was suggested that we look into having a drone show at one of our events. So we've identified 3 vendors. Actually, I had a 4th vendor reach out today, and we obtained pricing from each. We originally thought a drone show for National Night Out and having fireworks for the Friday before Memorial Day. According to what Jenna over in the rec center learned and reported, for drones, it has to be completely dark when it begins, and National Night Out typically includes at 9 p.m. Since drone shows are relatively new with only a few area operators, the pricing reflects this, and I have quotes that we received for the following. For 100 drones, we have quotes of 9,000, 14,500, and then 17 to 18,000. 150 drones, $13,450, 22,000 and 25,500. 200 drones, 16,950, 30,500. Each show is accompanied by music and is estimated to be 10 to 12 minutes in length with small gaps as the drones reposition themselves. We're going to continue to research this and see if we can get some videos to determine the quality of the shows before we commit to any one vendor. One of the vendors we talked to looked at us like we were from Mars, and I thought, okay, we'll just do a search and see one of the events that he told us if somebody else took a video, if they didn't have one. Because I know the vendor we use for our fireworks, every year they video it from the stage behind us because they want to showcase it. While we only have 3 events, we do our best to make them memorable for everyone and being mindful of the needs of the sponsors and our operating budgets. So we're just seeking board consensus for the plan before we move forward to incorporate both fireworks for the May event and then a drone show for National Night Out.
Comparatively, what's a fireworks show cost us?
Fireworks are $1,000 a minute, and ours have been 18 minutes.
So 18,000.
I had 25,000 in my head for some reason, and maybe that was based on a specific event that we had fireworks for that cost 25,000.
Maybe, but the last ones, the last 3 years we've done them, it's been
around 18.
Yeah.
And these don't have the booms, so, right?
I know
Just
we've
more of a light
received a lot of
show.
requests for drone shows to be more sensitive to the people who have either PTSD or pets that are really spooked by the noise associated with a fireworks show. I know that the Parks Board in particular is very much in support of pursuing a drone show as an alternative to traditional fireworks. So I would love to see us move forward with this.
And to answer your question about the fireworks, because we use the company we don't have the ones that just go up and boom. Like we have a lot of color. If you've been there, you've seen them. And we have people who leave and have told us, this is better than Disney. They can't get over that it's 18 minutes of just solid fireworks going up, not just the cannon, so to speak. They truly get a show out of it. But we want to, before we start reaching out to sponsors, before we start, communicating with vendors and locking anything in, we just wanted to make sure that we had board consensus with the plan.
I'm in favor of looking into it. And if we can compare them visually somehow. I'm surprised a vendor doesn't have a video of their show.
Well, we were surprised as well. And because I don't know what 100 drones looks like. I know, like, you see them, obviously. I know if the Philadelphia Eagles are doing them and, some of these huge stadiums, that's not in our price range. I know that, but I'm afraid like 100 drones might be like, ooh. Right. As they reposition, but I don't know that, again, like with the area, like it's 200 too many. So that's where they need to like look at our park and see,
right.
And then the sponsorship is going to be huge. We need to get some money to augment this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Item 12, review Wissahickon Clean Water Partnership Plan. Carolyn McCree.
As explained last fall, the Wissahickon Quality Improvement Plan has been drafted, reviewed multiple times, amended, and finally submitted to the Department of Environmental Protection and the Environmental Protection Agency. Included in the packet is the consortium agreement, which the member municipalities will need to adopt once that plan is approved by the regulators. This agreement would memorialize our goals and objectives, our structure and function, officers, meetings, and formation of subcommittees if needed, banking, and other administrative functions. Projects listed in the QIP will be funded by municipal allocations in the future and augmented by grants when possible. These will be presented annually to the members and included in their respective budgets. A fair allocation of costs is being discussed by members of the management committee. As you know, this is for the whole Wissahickon watershed. So while we may only have 2 projects identified, there might be another municipality that has 4. But because it's one watershed and EPA does not care about municipal boundaries, this was the best approach to take so that we are not all put under an order that would really be punitive for us in terms of the costs. So I'm looking for board comments or questions that I can take back to the management committee, specifically to Patrick Hitchens, who is with Kilkenny Law and who has drafted the document. All members have had the opportunity to do this process with their respective boards or councils.
So for the benefit of the board, we had a presentation at the Mikado Fall Convention on stormwater and these particular agreements and how critical they were. So I'm really happy to see us moving forward with this.
We also believe that by forming a consortium, it is going to be recognized by grant agencies. So if we were just to be, the partnership, it doesn't really have enough teeth. A consortium is a legal binding document. And so if we commit that we're going to supply the match for a grant, then they will recognize the consortium as being an entity. And that's why this agreement will need to be adopted by all the partnering municipalities in there. I believe there are 13.
Much better to share the cost among 13.
It certainly is.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing jumped out at me as being concerning.
Okay.
It's fairly comprehensive.
Thank you.
I realized I skipped over old business. Was there any old business? No,
Not really old business, but I am going to take a minute to just thank all the people that wrote the letters in this week in support of Bill. I've made no secret that I am in support of him coming back. And I just wanted to let everyone out there know that we did receive 19 letters. That's a lot of people throwing support under Bill. I'm not going to read them all, but I did highlight some because most of them asked would they be read. So I'm just going to quickly go through, and here are some snippets. Chief Wegman was not simply a director of fire services brought in from a previous career elsewhere. He was Montgomery Township. He understood this community, its people, and its needs. He brought a clear vision that transformed our department, moving us from 2 separate entities into one unified organization that truly lived our motto: one department, one mission. I'm a life member and former fire chief of the FDMT. I am writing to inform you that the entire fire department is very excited to hear that their chief, Bill Wegman, put back in for his job. I mean, you used his picture and resume on the hiring announcement, so you clearly respect the job that he did for Montgomery Township. You need to give him a chance to come back. He deserves a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes. You grow and learn from those mistakes. I assure you that Bill has grown and learned from this experience, and now you should do the right thing for our department and township and allow him to return. He brought the department together. He took it from being the laughing stock of the region to one of the most respected fire departments in southeastern PA. He lives and breathes Montgomery Township and has sacrificed countless hours in service to our community. He is a great leader and he is humble. He is the glue that holds the department together. He is one of the best incident commanders and emergency management coordinators in the region, but most importantly, he is a great guy who loves his department and his people. Let the community know how much you value second chances and how much you value one of your own. Bill is a hometown hero. Bill's impact on the department's culture has been profound. He cares deeply for both the career and volunteer sides of our service. When I first joined this department, there was a clear divide between the 2 groups. The volunteers and career staff may have been part of the same department, but we did not act as one department. Bill worked tirelessly to bridge that gap, and thanks to his efforts, we now function as one cohesive unit. Bill understands this township, its operations, and the personalities within the department. He leads from the front, never asking his crew to do something he wouldn't do himself. His ability to coalesce the career and volunteer staff is unsurpassed, as his experience is firmly rooted in both as he continues his family's focus on public service. Finally, his knowledge of the local, county, and state personnel and resources is invaluable. Chief Wegman's leadership of the career staff was particularly transformative. By setting high expectations, providing consistent professional development, and modeling collaborative values, he successfully unified and fully integrated our volunteer members into a single cohesive operational force. This career volunteer partnership is now seamless, highly effective, and widely recognized as a best practice model across Pennsylvania. Equally significant, Chief Wegman grew the department into one of the region's premier community-based fire departments through relentless public engagement and proactive risk reduction initiatives. He also demonstrated his incident command and emergency management knowledge, leading the department during the COVID-19 pandemic and through countless incidents in Montgomery Township and surrounding municipalities. Since my time at Montgomery Township, I have served in 3 different fire departments under multiple chiefs, and no other chief has stood out like Bill Wegman. He not only demonstrated his knowledge of firefighting and emergency management, but his ability to lead and develop a fire department. I believe that Montgomery Township would suffer a huge loss by not reinstating Bill Wegman. It's difficult to find someone that can run the business of a fire department, operate and command a fine ground or rescue scenario, and interface with a combination of career and volunteer firefighters, as well as be a genuine servant to the community. But of all the fire chiefs I have been under or worked with through other fire departments, Bill somehow was able to do all of this. He is a natural at being a fire chief and has a lot to offer as chief. Bill has always been a proponent of progress and quickly changed the trajectory of the department when he was first hired. He accomplished a feat I thought impossible, bringing the career staff and the volunteers together as a unified department under one leader. Gone was the them versus us culture I had witnessed for nearly a decade. In its place, a cohesive team that serves the community together with joint training, combined community risk reduction events, team building activities, and shared goals development. We now support each other as a combination department truly should. Thanks to Bill's encouragement, more and more volunteers are also obtaining their EMT certification so that we too can assist on EMS calls. Any suggestion was met with, "Great idea, how can I help?" All said and done, firefighting is an inherently dangerous activity. We volunteers and career staff alike face injury and possibly death every time we head to the station. Who leads us makes the decisions that impact our ability to go home to our family at the end of the day. Bill is the person I want making those decisions. When I joined when I was 16, Bill showed me what it was like to be a first responder. He was a role model to me. Bill's dedication to protecting the residents of Montgomery Township is beyond reproach. His placing an application to come back as the fire chief after resigning shows his dedication to the job and the residents. Bill brings with him knowledge of the career staff of the development of the Department of Fire Services and the volunteers. He led our department with integrity, devotion, and professionalism, all with a community-first attitude. Many volunteers, including me, feel that Chief Wegman is the right person to lead our organization. He is instrumental to our success. For the betterment of the fire service in Montgomery Township, please consider the perspectives of the many volunteers who support Chief Wegman and rehire him. The volunteers of this community respect Bill as well because he is a volunteer, a common man with this unit, a common man within the community who is willing to answer the call. The family of Montgomery Township, Bill was and still is the man for the job. He was an outstanding mentor, and my son grew personally and professionally under his guidance. Bill exemplifies all the qualities of a strong leader and someone that can best protect the residents of Montgomery Township. I've had the privilege of working with Bill for the past 15 years as a volunteer fireman, lieutenant, captain, and president of the FDMT Relief. During that time, I have witnessed firsthand the unwavering dedication, integrity, and leadership he brings to Montgomery Township. His leadership has always reflected a clear understanding that the strength of the department lies in its people. He has made the well-being, safety, and professional development of both volunteers and career firefighters his highest priority. What sets him apart is his ability to balance operational excellence with genuine care for the individuals under his command, whether addressing emergency response protocols, department morale, or personal challenges faced by members. He has consistently put the interests of the firefighters and community first.
Thank you, Candace, for that summary. And I appreciate everyone who took the time to reach out to the township with their feedback. I want to say I did respond individually to every individual who submitted their feedback on this matter. I thanked them for their feedback, as I thanked everyone who appeared before us for public comment at our meeting. I'll read, a portion of one of my responses just for some additional clarification. Although I do think that the less said on this matter is, better in general. This is a personnel matter that we should not really be discussing. But in December, Chief Wegman submitted his resignation in writing, and it was accepted at a public meeting. The board subsequently authorized staff to proceed with a search to fill the vacated fire chief position and ensure continuity of leadership. In addition, we commissioned an independent fire study to assess the department's operational needs, current structure, and available resources, all with the goal of establishing a data-driven framework to guide future decision-making. Both of those processes are currently underway, and any future decisions will be made with careful consideration given to what best supports the department and the taxpayers we all serve. So I, again, thank everybody for reaching out with their feedback. And if there's no further comment, I want to move on to department reports. Carolyn, do we have any department reports this evening?
Greg's gonna.
Okay.
All right. Just for the record, it is a 2016 vehicle. Got that. Sorry about that typo. So I just want to run through some of the projects that we have proposed, and some of them are already in the works for this year. Again, one of our big projects is going to be our paving projects. This year, the developments or roads that we're going to be doing, Horseshoe Lane, which is Meadow Lane Farms, Corporate Drive, which is right over by our shop on Demora Drive, North Wales Road from Montgomery Glen to 309, Montgomery Hill, Tall Gables, and the big one's going to be the Orchards. We do have a fairly robust paving schedule, but I will say our roads are probably among some of the best roads in any of the municipalities around us. A lot of the roads that people are complaining about are state roads that we do reach out to PennDOT about. So we have a good relationship with PennDOT, and they actively fix them as quick as they possibly can for us. But that is one of our big projects this year, is the paving projects. Timeline, we'll probably be looking to start. We always try to do them throughout the summer when it doesn't impact the school buses. It just helps with the traffic flow and everything else for those. Concrete work that we're going to be doing this year, again, are going to be for the paving projects of 2027, or the proposed paving projects this year includes areas in Summer Ridge, Shady and Woodland, Keystone and Progress, Chester and Oxford, Commerce and Enterprise, and then we have more here at the Township Building that needs to be done. we try to stay a year ahead, just to separate the paving project. So we don't have the contractors kind of trying to work out their schedules, and it never seems to really work out. They're always kind of tripping over each other, one's pushing the other. So we try to stay a year ahead on those. It makes for a much smoother year for everybody. And they're not pushed quite as hard to get those projects done. One of the other things we have, which I know you're all pretty much aware of, is the rapid flashing beacon on Stump Road. The work for that is to begin in April, weather permitting, if it ever stops snowing. That's kind of the time frame that we have. So April timeline for the concrete to start. Might be a little bit before that for Armor to come in and do the installation of the some of the electrical work that they have to do to prepare for that. So that'll be done. We did receive a multimodal grant for $211,000 for that project, which is a huge contribution for that as well. We believe that project is really going to be detrimental for people walking back and forth to the CRC safely. So that's the reason why we chose that area to do. So that's that project. We're looking forward to that starting finally. One of the other big projects that we have is 309 in English Village traffic signal modernization. That has been awarded to Armor and Son, and we received a Green Lake grant for that as well for $528,200, and the remainder of that will be split with Horsham. So the total cost that we have for that was $629,470, which has already been awarded to Armor and Son at a previous meeting. We've gone out and done a little bit of the preliminary work. So the pole spots have been already figured where we're going to be putting those in. We met with PennDOT and with Armor out there. So that project is starting. The poles are ordered. Again, the lead time on the poles, we're not quite sure when they're going to be in, but that project is started. So we're happy about that as well.
And the management companies for both shopping centers were notified, and they were thrilled to find out that PennDOT has agreed that dedicated left turn lanes are needed for coming out of both shopping centers. So
yeah, they were very happy to hear about that as well. We also have a feasibility study for our shop proposed for this year. As you know, our shop was built in 1985 for 7 employees. We are up to 16 full-time employees there. We have 1 full-time admin, 1 part-time myself, and we're also looking for a new hire, which puts us almost at 20 people. So we have outgrown that our shop, and there's a lot of things that we need to do looking into the future for the shop, just to make it feasible for us to work out of there. So that is something that we have proposed for this year as well. Same way, we have a new generator and electrical upgrades. Our generator for our shop is a hand-me-down from another department from years ago. We're having trouble getting parts for that. So again, that's something else that we have proposed, just looking forward, so that we'll be able to have power at our shop in case we run into any emergencies with weather or anything like that. The elementary pedestrian bridge right here on Stump Road is a project that we have proposed for this year. We just had bid opening on that today, so that's moving ahead. Window Stray Park at Rose Twig, we have a tennis court renovation, which will be a stone dust overlay again. Again, that's a proposed project for this year that was included. We have a lot of cracking on those courts. They're at the point where something needs to be done with those. So that is one of the big things in the parks this year that we're going to be looking to do over at Rose Twig. As I mentioned earlier, we did receive our new sweeper finally. It's been, I'm going to say, a painful process. It kept getting pushed back and just availability and everything else. So that process finally came to an end the last week when we received it. And that truck is very important for us to have. It helps us with our MS4 compliance for stormwater management. And I'm going to say we have that truck out as much as we possibly can throughout the year. If the roads aren't freezing, we have the truck out there. So thank you for that purchase. That was definitely a needed purchase. The Enclave Basin work, that is one of the big stormwater projects that we have planned for this year. That's part of the Cutler closeout.
This is the one
For
with
us
the
to
big
be in
bass, right?
compliance.
This is the one with
This
the
is the
big
one
bass.
with the big fish, correct? So that needs to be done. That's one of those projects that it's been on the books, and we need to get that one moving ahead. And then I'm going to say the other big stormwater pipe replacement over in the Canterbury section. That is hoping it's going to be a 3-phase approach to that. We started the first phase in 2025 at the end of last year. Then this one will be phase 2, and then we have another one proposed for 2027. So I know it sounds kind of like an ambitious list, but we have a lot to do. We have a lot to complete. So staff is looking forward to it and hitting these challenges head on.
Wow, I think that's an illustration of taxpayer dollars productively at use. Thank you.
Communication is going to happen with those residents. By paving well in advance.
Correct. Yeah, we notify the residents for concrete work if it's going to be done in front of their house or if it's going to affect their driveway, and as well as the developments that are going to be challenged with some of the paving processes there. So yes, they also receive letters.
Okay. Thank you so much, Greg. All right, let's move on to the committee liaison reports. Want to start down at this end, Candace?
Sure. Planning Commission did not have a meeting. Shade Tree, basically a lot of preparation going in for the Arbor Day event, which is when we give away the trees, and some talk about redesigning the website for the Shade Tree. Just getting some more information on that, how the committee would like it to look. I encourage everyone to come out on Arbor Day and get your tree.
Trying to think, I guess public safety. Yeah, public safety. We met and talked about the traffic calming policy, which has been presented, and the rec center did not have a meeting since the last time I reported.
The Sewer Authority and the Business Development Partnership Committee both met. It was a pretty brief meeting at the Sewer Authority. Nothing really remarkable there. They didn't. They were relieved that they didn't receive much feedback on their rate increase, which was, given it was the first time they increased their rates in 12 years, 15 years. And, they received very few questions or comments about the rate increase, which is encouraging. And then the Business Development Partnership Committee also met. We handed out their umbrellas, which is a token of appreciation that we gave to all of our volunteers on all of our different committees. They were greatly appreciative of those. There was a lot of discussion in that committee, just local business owners, and about the tariffs and the impacts they're having on sales, depressing sales. And in some areas, whereas some other people who haven't been impacted in sales were really good. So it was sort of a mixed bag there. But there was a lot of feedback about increasing utility and electric bills associated with the extra load that data centers are having on our region. So even though we're not seeing data centers necessarily right here locally, their impact in other neighboring areas, because they're all a part of the same grid, is being felt on the community. And so it is impacting people's bottom lines and profitability because their utility costs are significantly higher. That was it for my reports.
All right. I would like to respectfully request 2 more minutes to finish what I have here. I was very rudely interrupted. People asked me, residents and volunteers who are residents, asked me to read these. So I would like 2 more minutes if that would be okay.
You have 2 minutes.
One experience in particular has stayed with me throughout my career. Early on, when I was still a new volunteer, I was exposed to a hazardous material on Christmas during a response. As a young firefighter, that situation weighed heavily on me. I met with Chief Wegman in his office shortly afterward, and his calm presence and steady demeanor reassured me in a way I have never forgotten. He took the time to walk me through the situation, ensure I understood the protocols, and most importantly, make sure I was physically and emotionally okay. His leadership in that moment was not loud or dramatic. It was steady, compassionate, and exactly what a young firefighter needed. Chief Wegman took the time to guide, encourage, and challenge me to grow. His mentorship played a direct role in shaping my career path. Chief Wegman leads by example. He builds confidence in his firefighters, strengthens morale, and fosters a culture of accountability and professionalism. Throughout his years of service, he has consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership. Many of you know the former career staff we had at the department, and the relationship between the volunteers and the career staff was far apart. Bill has earned the respect from many members of the department and from surrounding mutual aid departments by bringing the volunteers and career staff together. This shows his ability for fostering teamwork within the department and our external resources. By rehiring Chief Wegman would restore experienced, principled leadership when stability and community trust are essential. His knowledge of the department, understanding of local needs, and proven record of service uniquely position him to continue advancing the mission of protecting life and property for Montgomery Township. Thank you.
Any other business for the good? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a great night, everybody.